I wouldn't be f***ing answering it. And make sure that that's got. And I'll tell you something.
Beautiful Sunday. This is my beautiful day. When you say that you love me. Oh my, it's a beautiful day.
Well guys, as you can see, Dundee United were relegated, and if you guys haven't followed Dundee United, it's been a very, very bad season. So today I thought it'd be a good time to do my championship predictions. And yeah, I know that most people don't really care about that league, but I thought I'm going to do that because that's what league I'm going to be focusing on. So guys, before I get into the video, I'm going to say that I'm not going to be biased, that this is actually how I think that the league will go. And we're going to start at 10th, which is Airdrieonians. And the reason that is because I don't think they'll handle that league. I could be brutally wrong here because I know they are a good side in the lower leagues. But when you get to the championship, you're going to have to fight tooth and nail to get where you want to be. And I just don't think that Airdrieonians will handle it. I think they'll have an okay season for their standard. But looking at it from my point of view, I think they'll come 10th. They could maybe stretch 8th or 9th. But I don't think they'll get any higher than that. So that's why I put them at 10th. Now moving on to 9th, I have put Arbroath there. And yeah, last season they had a very poor season. They were in the relegation zone, but the season before that they were pushing to go up automatically. And that's the great thing about the lower league, is that it's always different. Like last season we seen Queen's Park, they were competing for top and just missed out through Dundee. In 8th, I've put Raith Rovers. Now, again, another team that you have to look out for. Their football is just so bloody rapid. Like, they could go from defence to attack in the click of a finger. And it is just very, very impressive what they do and what they could do to some of the bigger teams like Partick, United, you know, Ayr and all that. They could hit you on the break very quick. You wouldn't even see it coming, and yeah, that's why I think Raith are going to avoid the bottom, but very, very, just like by a few points. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see where Raith actually come next season, because I've seen them do pretty well. Like, I've seen them in the top 6 and stuff. So you never know with the championship, as I've said a few times. And yeah, I'll be very, very surprised if they get any lower than that. I think 8's their minimum, like bare minimum. That's where I think they'll finish, but we'll see. We'll see when the season starts. And now I'm going to move on to 7th. So in 7th, I've put Greenock Morton. Again, another team that you have to look out for. Every team in this league, I think, you're going to have to look out for because they have a few players that could change a game like that. And yeah, I feel like Greenock Morton always do pretty decent, and I think 7th is very good for them. Their fans will take that any day. Maybe like 10 years ago they were competing in League 1-2, and they've worked their way up, and they could be in the Premiership any time. I think they've got the capability to do it. I don't know if they'll go up and do much, but they do have a team that's very committed and that would maybe cause problems for some of the weird teams in the Premiership. Right, this is where we're getting into the big dogs of the Championship, if there is any. Nah, I'm not disrespecting, because we've been there before. I've seen it happen, some of the stuff. So in 6th, I have put Inverness Caledonian Thistle. A very big tongue twister there. I cracked it. Totally didn't have to do it like 4 times, but we've got it. Inverness, I don't really have to say much about them. They made it to the Scottish Cup final. They actually scored against Celtic, which many teams can't do in the Championship. But we have seen some surprises, and they have a very good team. But next season, I think they could lose a few key games, and it could change the whole dynamic of the league. So that's why I'm putting them at 6th. I reckon they're more than capable of getting top 4, but some of the teams up there you can't really compete with. But Inverness, good luck to them. I have a lot of respect for them, and it's always a good game between Dundee United and Inverness. So I'm intrigued to see what happens there. Now we're going to move on to 5th spot. In 5th, I have put Queen's Park, even though last season they were like 4th or 3rd. I can't remember because the league kept changing. They had a very good season last season, so I think they're more than capable of getting the top 6 spot. Just missing out on the playoff, but they have a lot of time to develop their players. They're not a Premiership club yet, but they could be in the future. I could see it happening, like replacing the likes of Ross County, Kilmarnock, because let's be real, Kilmarnock and Ross County are the bottom tier team in the top league. Also, if you're enjoying the video up to now, smash a like. I've not made a video in a while, so I'm a bit rusty, but we're getting there, and now we're going to move on to my 4th spot. Right, now we're getting down to the nitty gritty of this league. This is the top 4 prediction now. So we've got, away from the boring bit, I'm so sorry if you're any of the fans I've just said. We've got away from the bottom half of the table, and now we're getting up to the big dogs that are going to be fighting it out amongst each other. 4th place, I've got Dunfermline. Now, Dunfermline, I have so much respect for what they've done last season. Dennis Mehmet, former Dundee United goalie, kept 22 clean sheets last season out of like 34 games or something. That's not even right. Like, why did we have to get rid of him and get Mark Birighitti, for God's sake? Right, anyway, enough of that. Dunfermline's team is absolutely unreal. I have utmost respect for Dunfermline, and I think they could cause a lot of trouble in this league. And they could maybe even get, well, they're getting playoff spots in my prediction, but I think they could even compete for the title. That's how good this side is. But I'm not sure if they're ready for that yet. First season up, we'll see what happens. In 3rd spot, I have put Ayr United, another team that I feel is absolutely brilliant, and on their day they're brilliant. Last season just got absolutely pumped by Partick Thistle. That is something that a lot of teams had to suffer last season in the playoffs as well. Ross County beat them in the final on penalties. Very lucky in my opinion, because Partick had to play from they were 4th last season, so they had to play all the games all the way through, and I feel they'd done the best they could, but they did lose a 3-0 lead, which, if you're doing that at that level, you can't be doing that. I don't know why I'm on about Partick, we're on about Ayr United. So Ayr United, don't have to really explain, that basically made Shankland who he was. United got him, made him better, and then now he's at Hearts after going a season at Beershaw. Again, I'm going off topic, but Ayr United have a brilliant youth squad. They've got brilliant depth. They've got everything a good average club needs. And I feel that they are very, very good on their day. And I feel they could do a lot of good things this season. Now, top 2. Who's it going to be? Dundee United or Partick Thistle? Comment below before I say who I think will win the league next season. And my winner of the league next season is Partick Thistle. I have to not be biased here. I think United will get second, so go on about United now and then go on to Partick. I feel United last season were absolutely terrible. I think I've had crap sort of better than them at football. Some of them were just awful, like awful. And there was some that put in 100% every game. But we're going to have to talk about a few things in another video. I'm going to be back a lot more, especially during the summer holidays when I'm off of school for weeks. I'll be able to talk to you guys a lot more about United, but I'm going to keep it friendly on here. So United last season go from European football, beating AZ Alkmaar 1-0, to losing 7-0, to losing 9-0, and yeah, just wasn't good at all last season. We deserved everything we got relegated, thought we deserved it, we were absolutely doggy. I was about to say another word, but I can't say it on here because this is family friendly. Now, Dundee United next season, the thing that I'm worried about is we have not signed one player yet. We've sold, got rid, some deadwood. There's still a few players that I would get rid of. Berighetti being one of them. Some others that I'm not going to name because they're going to get a lot of hate probably, but you know, goalkeeper, he's absolutely bollocks. And what I linked to another goalie, Max Crickham, from New Zealand, but again, will he be good? Because most Dundee United goalies nowadays aren't the greatest. Jack Newman, I feel he done brilliantly last season. Probably the best goalie we have, not hard with Berighetti. Sorry again, if Mark Berighetti, if you're watching this, I have no hate towards you. It's just your crap. But, yeah, that's all I have to say about him, and I think we need to get rid of him. He's deadwood. You can't start a fire with deadwood, can you? Like, come on. The rebuild was meant to start by now, but Jim Goodwin hasn't signed anybody. We are in talks with 6 players apparently. Richard Tate, Charles Dunn, you know, players like that. I want Fitzpatrick as well. I feel that he could be a brilliant asset to the club. Partick probably won't let him go though, but we'll have to wait on that. But if you want me to do a rant about Dundee United where I just let it all out, comment below, because I would be more than happy to do it. So yeah, I feel we'll get second if we get the right players. I feel Jim Goodwin is the right man, even though a lot of people are saying get rid of him. Not, he's the best manager we've had for probably a few years now. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens with him. See if he lasts more than a year, because we can't keep a manager for over a year apparently, so we'll see. Signed a 2-year deal, so see if he can see it out. And Partick, I think they're going to win the league because they have got a brilliant squad. Like, the only player they got rid of was Scott Tiffany, and he went to Dundee, which was probably the better option. He was linked with United, but you would go to the Premiership club. Missing out just last season on a Premiership spot. So he'll feel he deserves it. I feel he deserves it. And Dundee next season could be a real danger with some of the players they've got. And I can't say it with a straight face because it's hard to believe that Dundee could really cause trouble next season. If you want me to do a prediction for the Premiership, I'll do it. Because I feel next season is going to be pretty good. Like, Celtic have lost their manager, which is just a shame. But yeah, I'll save that for another video. If you enjoyed my Premiership prediction video, please smash a like and subscribe. Turn on post notifications if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.